Hi, I'm Andy Hartup, Executive Editor on GamesRadar.com and host of our weekly Game of Thrones discussion show, Last Night's Watch. Now, I'm going to talk to you about the insane but pretty awesome Clegane Bowl theory, which I reckon is going to come true in Season 6 of Game of Thrones. Now, as you might have gathered from the name, this theory concerns the brothers Clegane, the Hound, who is left for dead by Arya, and the Mountain, who is preserved from death by Maester Qyburn. At first glance, it seems like a total crackpot assertion that they'll somehow meet again. One is supposedly dead, the other's a zombie in Kingsguard armour. However, the Clegane Bowl theory suggests that they will not only meet, but fight to the death to determine the fate of Queen Regent Cersei. Let's look at the facts first then, about these three key characters. The Mountain is still semi-alive and is in the service of the Lannisters at King's Landing. We also know that Cersei was told by a witch, when she was a child, that she'd have 3 children and that all 3 would die before her. Well, 2 out of 3's gone, and it's not looking good for Tommen. And that she herself would be killed by someone referred to as Valonqar. In High Valyrian, Valonqar means younger brother. Throughout the show, Cersei has strongly believed that the witch was referring to Tyrion, which is partly why she so firmly believes he killed Joffrey in Season 4. But that seems a bit too obvious for Game of Thrones. What if it isn't Tyrion? We'll come back to that in a little bit.
You're gonna die.
Unless there's a Maester hiding behind that rock. Aye.
Now to the speculation, which fills in the blanks of the theory, so bear with me a little bit on this. Now, the Hound was left for dead by Brienne/Arya, but we never see him die. That leaves the door wide open for a potential return, no matter how unlikely. Now, similarly in the books, the Hound is merely left for dead, under different circumstances. But, and here it gets really interesting, it's strongly hinted in A Feast for Crows that he's alive. Brienne's scouring the land for any sign of Sansa or Arya, and she visits the Quiet Isle. Now, this is a retreat for religious members of the faith. Here she speaks to the elder brother, who admits that he found the Hound and tried to help him as he lay dying. Now, when she questions the elder brother, he says, the Hound is at rest. Now, that doesn't mean he's dead. While she's at the Quiet Isle, Brienne sees a very large man digging graves outside the monastery, who happens to have a burnt face, just like the Hound. So this has led many to speculate, very sensibly I think, that the elder brother returned Clegane to the monastery, healed him, and convinced him to disassociate the Hound aspect of his character. In other words, to let go of the hate and anger that makes him the Hound, and just become Sandor Clegane. So that could well explain what happened to him after he was left for dead. Interestingly, in Season 6, Episode 3, Arya is questioned about the Hound. Now, she says that she left him for dead, and that she crossed his name off her revenge list. But why mention the Hound at all if he wasn't poised for a return?
Didn't she want him dead any longer? She did, and she did not.
It's a nice theory, but there's still plenty of holes. What could possibly bring Sandor and Gregor Clegane together? And why would they end up fighting? And why Cersei? Let's deal with the Cersei thing first. Despite being returned to the Red Keep, she's still accused by the Sparrows of incest. She lied to free herself from prison, but remains under suspicion, quite rightly, because she has actually committed the crime she's accused of. Clegane Bowl theory suggests that Cersei will be accused of incest and will choose trial by combat to decide her fate, believing that Zombie Mountain can beat any man alive in single combat. Now, Season 6, Episode 3 confirms this, because Cersei says the Mountain only needs to kill one Sparrow, and literally says that she will choose trial by combat to decide the remainder of her accusations.
Has the faith leveled official charges yet?
Not yet.
That is one trial by combat I look forward to watching.
The Sparrows, in turn, are going to have to choose a champion. Given that they have links to the Quiet Isle, because it's all part of the faith, they could quite easily send word to the elder brother and ask for their fighter. They just happen to have, probably, Sandor Clegane on the Quiet Isle. Okay, but what's to say Clegane is still alive or will be chosen as the faith's champion? Well, there is actually one pretty compelling piece of recent evidence that lends a lot more credence to it all. Ian McShane from Deadwood, speaking recently to BBC Breakfast, gave some clues about the role he will play in Game of Thrones Season 6, and here's the direct quote for you. My character is an ex-warrior who's become a peacenik, so I have this group of peaceful, it's like a cult, a peaceful tribe, who have I bring back this beloved character that everyone thinks is dead, so I'll leave it at that. An ex-warrior running a peaceful group? That sounds an awful like the elder brother. According to the books, he was a former knight with healing powers who fought at the Battle of the Trident for House Targaryen. He was knocked unconscious during the fight, left for dead, his armour stripped and his body dumped in the Trident. He wakes up naked on the Quiet Isle and forms this peaceful group. If this is the case, if McShane is the elder brother, and my god, it looks like it, why else would he be in Season 6 other than to bring back the Hound? McShane has already told us that he's bringing back a popular character, and there are very few ambiguously dead characters alive in the show, so it certainly works in favour of the Clegane Bowl theory. That's the actual case for the Hound fighting the Mountain in King's Landing for the honour of Cersei. So what's the likely outcome of this fight? Well, if the two are fighting Cersei's trial by combat, one of them has to win. What if it's the Hound, who is the younger of the Clegane boys? That would mean death for Cersei if she's found guilty of incest. She would, indirectly, be killed by younger brother, or Valonqua in Valerian. So yeah, Clegane Bowl, especially after Season 6, Episode 3, it's looking really, really likely. Okay, let me know what you think about this theory in the comments below. And if you want to make sure that you never miss any of our Game of Thrones coverage again, including our Monday show, then hit subscribe below.